My first memory of feeling different was in kindergarten. So I was moving away, and there was a group of us moving away, and we all had to choose two things that the rest of the class would then draw, and my teacher got all the papers and put it into a little booklet as a farewell gift. And I remember thinking what two things I should choose, and they're supposed to be my favorite things, and other people in the class, the boys were choosing swords and cars and boats, and so I knew what I should be choosing. But I chose hearts and rainbows as my two favorite things. And I knew that that was something that was different. And it felt not just different than other boys, but kind of wrong. And then as I grow up, right, the symbolism of hearts and rainbows takes on a lot. But as I grew up and I started to see pride flags or different things, I started to be really self-conscious about that and didn't want anyone to know. This younger self that was not good at hiding himself yet.
Elders Spencer, Ross, and Kimball. You are assigned to labor in the Poland-Warsaw mission.
As I grew up, going through elementary school, junior high into high school, I started to care a lot more about those voices and what people thought about me. And kids are really good at letting you know what's okay and what's not, right? What's socially acceptable and what's not. And so I listened to those voices and I tried to monitor myself and fit those expectations. And I was worried about people thinking I was gay. And I didn't think I was gay. I just thought I was bad at being a boy. There was one time my sister said, I was in high school and I think she was in college back for Christmas or something, and we were just on our bed hanging out. And she's like, oh yeah, there was a time where the family, we were worried that you were gay, right? And for her, that was such an offhanded comment. But the way that stuck with me for years, that comment alone just drove me insane. I mean, it was just a constant in my head of, do I sound too gay? Do I look too gay? I want to look good, but do I look too good or too coiffed? And it was just every little thing about me, right? I just was analyzing and worried about. And then I'd kind of be with friends and lose myself just in the fun and the connection of it all. And then somebody would, imitate me and use their hands or something, not even trying to be facetious or anything, just mirroring me. And then it was this immediate, oh crap, I let my guard down. What was I thinking? Sort of a deal. So I think one of the themes or one of the big struggles of my life is this feeling of inadequacy, that I don't feel good enough or that something's wrong with me. And I think on my mission, that's when that came to a point with God, where I felt the things that I was being taught about who God was led me to believe that he must think that too, that I'm not good enough. And there were a few years where there was a lot of silence from God, and I felt really abandoned and unloved, which then sent the message to me that I must be unlovable, right? And it's kind of oh, I was right. I'm not really good enough, or something's up with me.
Miles and miles on the clear blue skies, we drive straight as an arrow flies. Nowhere to be, no dreams to chase tonight. We've got time to waste, let's waste it right.
There was a lot of pushing it back and down. Just pushing it out in any way I could. So I was in pretty heavy denial about it until after my mission. And I was kind of supposed to jump into the next part of my life of marriage and kids, and I was that guy who wanted to do that. I was ready to start my little family and get going with the whole kind of Mormon dream. But then it was impossible, and I was on BYU campus, and I just started being attracted to all these guys and feeling really, really badly about it. And I kind of felt it coming, and then a year later, summer of 2016, I finally came out to myself. And that was kind of the start of addressing it, facing it, and learning to embrace it. I feel a lot of pressure not to be the angry ex-Mormon, right? Even though I don't consider myself ex-Mormon. I think there's this idea of, if you're gonna do you, and if you're not gonna live by these standards or these teachings anymore, then that's fine, but be quiet about it, right? Go off and do your thing, we'll do our thing. which I get to a point, but I think for a lot of us, especially queer members of the church, we feel like we're still somewhat a part of the community, the church community. And we see our harm that's actively being done to us and people like us. And so it's hard to know what to do, because I have a lot of anger still, and I have a lot of hurt still, and I feel compelled to speak about it and to share it. And so I don't want to temper it too much where I'm just apologetic about who I am, or I'm, timid or too sorry for even joining the conversation. And I don't want to make people immediately get on the defensive by attacking them, because that's not productive either. But I don't really go right now. I go sometimes with family or with friends, but I'm not super active in my ward. Life is still lots of ups and downs, and the coming out process is long, and there's multiple coming outs, and lots of time to adjust, and relationships take a long time to heal. I'm in a much better place, right? I feel a lot better with myself. I feel like I'm living a life that feels more full of integrity and authenticity. So I am striving to do things out of self-love rather than shame. So I've gotten into yoga, and I like preparing food in the kitchen and trying to do things that make me feel good, an activity that I like, not just things that'll make me look a certain way, because that hasn't been very effective. I still believe in God, and for me personally, God was a huge part of my healing, learning to love myself, and kind of be there for me through coming out and finding my footing, and he was he's still the foundation of my life.